Hey guys, it's math time, and again, it's gonna be super simple review today for math. So, what we are going to do is we're just gonna review tens because we are gonna be adding and subtracting groups of 10. So, what is a 10? Yeah, it's just 10 ones, right? When we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Instead of having 10 little things, we put it together to make a 10. So we can easily count by groups of 10. Okay, so really what a 10 is, if we were to count by 10s or write our 10s, I'm gonna do it. Let's count by 10, and as we count, I'm gonna write those numbers, okay? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, that's good enough for now. Let's look at these numbers. What do you notice about all of these numbers? They all end in a 0. Very good. I can go ahead and underline that they all end in a 0. They all end in a 0. Very good. So really that 0 is basically the word 10, because this is 1 10, 2 10, 3 10s, 4 10s, 5 10s, 6 10s, 7 10s, 8 10s, 9 10s, 10 10s. That 0 at the end means that we have 10s. Even though this is the 10s place value, but like Miss Bowden just said, we have 10, 20, 30. But if I asked you 60, how many 10s is 60? You would say 6 10s. So 1 0 means the word 10. And that'll come in handy when you get to those upper grades and you're starting to break down some things, because this is, Miss Bowden used to teach how many zeros meant certain things. So when you've got 1 0 at the end, you can figure out how many 10s are easily in a number, because that 1 0 means 10s, like the number 50. It's 5 10s. Okay, so here's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be adding 10s and taking away 10s. So for example, we're gonna start out with, I'm gonna do some on my page, and then we'll go over some on the worksheet, and I'm gonna give you the problem set to do and challenge yourself with, but I'm also gonna give you the homework if you wanna do some more practice and maybe challenge yourself a little bit more today. Because this week we're kinda gonna do one lesson a day, because I know last week we did a few lessons to kind of play catch up and combine some things that we're easily able to combine. This week is just one lesson a day and basically wrapping it up, because it's everything we've done this year, just to review with bigger numbers. So let's start out with this. Okay, I've got 2 different groups. I see I've got this first group right here, and I've got this second group, okay? Well, if I'm drawing them and I don't have any X's on them, I'm gonna be adding them together. So here, how many do I have? Okay, let's put it this way. Blank 10s plus blank 10s equals blank 10s, or blank plus blank equals blank. This is how we're gonna be filling things out, okay? So, how many 10s do I have in this first group that we see together? 4 10s, very good. I've got 4 10s. All right, how many 10s do you see here? 2 10s, very good. So really, we're just adding the numbers because we're leaving the word 10s behind there, because when you add numbers with 0 to it, most likely that last number, if it's 0 plus 0, you're gonna get 0. So if we do a 10 plus a 10, we're also gonna get a 10. We're adding apples with apples. So 4 10s plus 2 10s gives me, what's 4 plus 2? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 tens total. Very good. So what we just did was 4 tens is really what number? 40. 4 tens is really 40. 2 tens is really what number? 20. And 6 tens is really what number? 60. Very good. So here's what we did. It's easy to write it as 4 tens plus 2 tens equals 6 tens because we can count them. But really what this is this represents 40 plus 20 equals 60. So 4 tens, remember I said tens was that 0. So when you read this, you can say 4 tens plus 2 tens equals 6 tens. 40 plus 20 equals 60. Really, when you're adding 0 plus 0, you're always going to get 0. So you're adding 4 plus 2 to give you 6, and you add that 0 back to the end of it. Now, what if we had to do a number bond? If we had to do a number bond with these numbers, what number is your whole? The 60, the 6 tens, and your 2 parts. The first part was 40. The second part was 20. Very good. Yeah, simple, easy peasy review. Okay, now, what if we have this? What if I show you this drawing? What's happening here? We're taking away. Very good. So I'm going to have blank tens minus blank tens is going to give me blank tens. Oops. Let's do a number bond, and let's do blank minus blank equals blank. Okay. So when we subtract, do we see different sets of groups? Well, we see the Xing out as one group. Very good. But that's showing me what I'm taking away. How do I get this first number? This first number is the whole picture. Remember, when you subtract, you start with that whole and you're taking a part away. So you got to figure out what this other part is. When you're adding, you're given the 2 parts and you put them together to get the bigger number. But when you're subtracting, you start with the whole, the biggest number, and you break it down into the parts. So we're going to start with our whole, which is how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tens total is our whole. Minus means you're taking away. How many did we take away? 1, 2, 3. We took away 3 tens, and you can tell because of the X's. The X's represent us taking away. How many are left? 4 tens. Very good. 4 tens. So what we did was we did 7 tens minus 3 tens gave us 4 tens. 7 minus 3 gave me 4. 10 minus 10 is going to give me a 10. So really, how much is 7 tens? 70. We did 70. Minus, how much is 3 tens? What did we really take away? 3 tens is 30. So 70 minus 30 gave me 4 tens, which was how much? 40. Very good. 40. So again, remember, that 10 represents that 0. 7 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens. So really, when you're doing 0 minus 0, you're always going to get 0. So you ignore those zeros and you just do 7 minus 3 gives you 4. But you keep those zeros there because they're 10. All right, number bond, what's my whole? The 70, what you started out with, the 70. Yes, the 70 is your whole. And your 2 parts were your 40 and your 30. It doesn't matter which order you write your parts in, but as long as your whole is up there and is correct. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing. Remember, that 0, if you're adding and subtracting a 10, it's always going to have the 0 at the end. You can kind of just replace with the word 10 to help you think of just that number to add and subtract. So your first page is gonna be like what Miss Bowden did just now. You're gonna look and find your two groups to either add or find your whole and then find what you're taking away to subtract. So you're gonna fill out the same way. Blank tens plus blank tens equals blank tens. And then translate that into the real equation. Okay, let's see if we can maybe get it a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see it up close. There we go. Okay, so really, they saw a group of 3 tens. The next group would be 2 tens, and you can even circle it so you can see your two groups. And that gave me a total of 3 plus 2 would be 5 tens. Well, really, your 3 tens is worth 30, 10, 20, 30. Your 2 tens is worth 20, 10, 20. And your 5 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 would be 50. 50, 30, 20. They did their number bond, okay? Remember that 0 just means tens because 30 is 3 tens. 20 is 2 tens. Okay, so here's another adding. Find your two groups. I see my two groups going across. You may see two groups differently. Circle them if you have to. And then down here, you're going to have some subtracting ones. Remember, this long line is where you write that equation the real way with the real numbers, not just with the place value of tens in there. So here's going to be your subtracting, your number bond. Remember, when you do your whole and when you start that subtraction, you have to start with the whole picture. So think of this picture. How many total? How many are we taking away? That's the x's. What's left over is your answer. So your whole first page is going to be just like what Miss Bowden just did with you guys. That's easy. Then your second page. Now, when we're dealing with tens, think about this. What coin represents 10 cents? A dime. Very good. Okay, so here's going to be, instead of using the pictures, they're going to use dimes just to help us with our money skills again. So instead of writing the tens, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the problem that they're giving you, and you're going to just write that addition or subtraction problem with the answer. So they did 10, 20, 30, 40, 40 plus 20. And what does that give me? 4 tens plus 2 tens. So 4 plus 2 gives me 6 tens. So it would be 60. Yeah. And then at the bottom, let me show you guys the bottom. The bottom is very challenging. Here's where you've got to think of your adding and subtracting skills, okay? And think of all of our basic facts that we know. And find the missing whole or the missing part. So, remember, all of this is dealing with tens, okay? With tens. So remember I said to kind of think of it as 5 tens plus 4 tens. So 5 plus 4 will give me 9 tens, because if you're adding 10 plus 10, you're always going to come out with a 10. Or if you're having to find that missing part, 9 tens minus blank gives me 1 10. Take it off. 9 minus what gives me 1? Think of it that way. Or 9 minus 1 gives me 8. Do the flip-flop. So it would be 8 tens. Okay? Think of the missing parts. Work it backwards if you have to. 1 10 plus what gives me 9 tens? Do the opposite to help you figure it out. That's just basic facts. That's where that trick of my 0 saying tens comes in. So I'm going to give you that problem set to do, and then the homework page is similar but different. So basically, you're going to complete either the number bond or the sentence to match the picture for the first side of it, and then they want you to match them. So you're going to fill in, finish this number bond or this picture and match it to the picture that it's describing, okay? So we're starting with 90, we got 30, we're gonna have 60 probably, so then I would draw it to our picture to make our picture match it. So you're gonna fill in and match. And then your second page of homework is gonna be just like the classwork, the problem set page, where you have to write the addition or subtraction sentence and fill in the missing parts or the missing holes. and it's just there for extra practice and a challenge. They have a lot of this in the workbook, I think, for you guys to go ahead and have more simple adding practice if you want. But I'm also going to give you your day 6, because I gave you 5 on Friday. So I'm going to give you that day 6 to get started on the monthly math every day for the homework as well, just as a review of the cycle of skills that we've been doing and working on, okay? So, yeah, if you have any questions with math, just text me, email me, FaceTime me, let me know. But I think it's pretty simple and pretty like straight to the point on adding it. And we've done this already, so it's a review. It's just using bigger numbers. I think with my little trick of 10s with that 0, you guys are gonna rock this. You got this. Okay, have a beautiful day today. I hope you all had a fantastic Mother's Day. I hope you showed Mommy lots of love yesterday. And you didn't give her enough love, give her extra loving again today and tell her how thankful you are for her for helping you out through all of this craziness. And yeah, maybe make her a card if you didn't make her a card. Or you can do some of that coral painting and reading and give it to her. I'm sure she would really like that artwork. But yeah, you guys go and have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.